so. Hang on a minute. Are we live on your thing? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, we're just gonna go for it then. Bonsoir, bienvenue, and welcome to the Circuit de Paul Ricard in the south of France. I am Toussaint 028, doing my best imitation of a French southerner, and I am joined by
X-Natty. Hello guys, welcome to round 4 here at France, like you mentioned. And, well, we've seen in the past that this track provides some great overtaking, so hopefully it should be a great race.
Yeah, certainly, as Wolf nearly got swiped into the shadow round there by the racing point of Joe going for the braking zone. In fact, has now been Joe's parked on the racing line, so that's probably not the greatest thing done there by Joe. But as Natty says, welcome to France, to the south of France, even Marseille to be exact, for the French GP here in the Premier Series. That was why we were speaking French in the intro. I hope Piero agrees with our French and supports it wholeheartedly. But yeah, we are joined once again by the lovely drivers of the Premier Series. A full grid here today of drivers. In fact, the most recent winner of the French Grand Prix, Natty, is on the grid in Napula, currently on the mediums in the Haas car there. It's currently in fourth in the championship as well, so a very good performance in the opening 3 races from him, Natty.
Yeah, I mean, the last time Napula raced around this track, well, we were both there in the same race, and he made an interesting strategy work, so let's see what he can do tonight.
And yeah, that strategy was actually medium to soft, and at the moment it would look like he is trying to re-emulate that. Currently on the medium tyres, going through turns 1 and 2 at the moment. Let's see, he's about to cross the line though. In fact, his teammate, sorry if I go back through here, so Before You Die is about to come across the line now on the set of the medium tyres. Where can Before You Die go? Can he go on to provisional pole? Yes, no he can't. Improves on his lap time but not positioned there. 1 minute 30.3, respectable time on the mediums there. But Ben Roberts currently setting the provisional pole time for 1 minute 29.4 on the soft tyres in the Ferrari. But a very picturesque track we have here, Natty. But at the moment, no rain.
Yeah, very clear skies ahead. We've seen in the previous races, both this season and in previous ones, that it does like to rain here in the south of France, so maybe the race might present itself with some wet weather. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, in the academy we had, like, even in the 25% race, we had the weather going from heavy wet to bone dry by the final lap, which was crazy to see. If you haven't seen that race, I strongly suggest you go and watch it. It should be on the YouTube today. All streams will be live on the Gavra Racing YouTube 2 days after they are streamed. Before You Die has invalidated his laps, so we won't be spectating him. Algier Swipe Bates, come to think of that, absolute 11. Our current points leader comes into the pits after only setting a 1 minute 33.9. I don't know about you, Nat, but I'm expecting poles to be somewhere in the 28s, maybe even 27s today.
Yeah, around kind of those times are the times that these guys are going to be aiming for. We kind of got a 29.4 as the fastest time in this session. But we've still got half the grid still yet to set some laps. We've got some pretty quick drivers as well who have not set laps either. So quick times are still to come with the remaining 10 minutes of the qualifying session, obviously as the track evolves over time. So we should be seeing some quicker times in the near future.
Yeah, certainly, as just giving us a quick chance to check the chat. Hello to Gavra Cameron. He says, evening guys. Hello Tonios, our freshman league winner from yesterday. I'm sure very happy to have been winning his home race. Hello to you as well. As F1 Lover, one of the drivers from the Academy Series actually last season, now comes through the latter stages of the final sector into turns 14 and 15 here. Let's ride on board with the Alfa Romeos. He navigates the final 2 corners, takes 3rd gear through there. That's quite an unconventional gear to be taking that corner, and most people take it in 4th or 5th. But now F1 Lover going to the line. Can he put his car onto provisional pole? He lifts off before the line. And is that maybe a bank lap? Is he going to try and qualify on the mediums here, Natty?
Yeah, it could potentially be I mean, he's on 3 lap old soft, so maybe he doesn't want to be starting the race on those tyres, and he's going to go for quicker laps later on in the session, maybe even the medium tyres as you pointed out. So we'll just have to wait and see what F1 Lover is able to do. There was a 1:31.6, but yeah, I'm sure he can go much quicker, definitely.
Yeah, currently only faster than Absolute 11, then that time definitely not representative of his pace. Thunder 50-50 then coming through the final corner. Another person who's had a topsy-turvy start to the season, let's say, has picked up an LLP1 from last race as he goes into third position at the moment. So Thunder won't be able to win this race, even if he does finish in first, because he has a one place reduction on the end of his race result for this one. That is what an LLP1 is for all you lovely ladies and gentlemen who don't quite know how the penalty system works here at Gavra Racing. Hakan Nizhnemoglu now finished, I think, last of the running cars, last time out in Zambia. We'll be looking to change that today, and currently on the soft tyres. Let's go on board for a nice commentated lap then for Hakan Nizhnemoglu coming through turn 6 there, and pushing up through the gears once again. Flat now through turn 7 onto the first part of the back straight. DRS open on the racing point. Now not really getting much of a slipstream from the car in front as you come down towards the hairpin of turns 8, 9 and 10. Braking just before the 50 metre ball. Sling it over the curve. Now down into second gear. Stays in fourth actually, Hakan. And that introduces some understeer in the car as we saw there. Now traffic as we head up towards turn 10. Shifting up to 8th gear. And I don't know if Hakan has backed off this lap. No, it's kept it going now. Flat out through turn 10 now, bring it to the left hand side as you turn in towards turns 11, keeps it flat on entry before shifting down to 5th gear, flat out once again as you head into the final sector. A very late apex corner here, and he's got it tight, locks up the front left and just manages to keep control of the cars. Now we head into turns 14 and 15, the long left hander before turning into the very short right hander down into 4th gear, now down into 2nd for the final corner. Get on the traction nice and early, short shift through the gears to the line. Then what's it going to be for Hakan Nizhnemoglu? It's going to be a 1:30.2. Goes into 5th place, a respectable time there from the racing point.
Yeah, good luck from him. Spano as well was also able to get himself up into 3rd place, just behind his Renault teammate, JMB Cyril. So, yeah, of the guys who have set laps, we've got a really close grid. 2nd to 6th is only 2/10.
Yeah, and Spanel actually Academy podium sitter in the last race of the season in Abu Dhabi. Currently finds himself less than a 10th actually behind his teammate JMB Cyril, who had multiple podiums in the Academy last season. He'll be looking to improve on that form as well, and he's gone for another flying lap, it would seem, here on those soft tyres.
Yeah, just having a quick look in the chat as well. Tony was saying the medium hard is the best strategy. Gapula, though, hinting one of his strategies that he might be trying to pull out the bag tonight, a soft medium. He says is apparently an easy strategy to do. As
Joe goes into P8 now, 1:30.6, so the highest placed car on those medium tyres now. So I think we're definitely seeing a split in strategy. Tiger Assassin now goes into 3rd position on 1:30.1, but no one is quite able to challenge Ben Roberts, currently still sat on pole, 1:29.4. And we saw Leo Cat, I think yesterday, and in the Academy getting to the 1:28.2s. So I really think that we haven't seen the best from these drivers, as Shankster and Frozen now just venturing out onto the lap, for their first laps here in qualifying. Shankster, another driver who was in that first ever French Grand Prix in the Premier Series, finished P3, I believe, from that race. Currently finds himself on the medium tyres, potentially trying to do the same strategy as he did last season, or the last time he raced at this track even.
Yeah, currently hasn't set a lap time, is on an outlap though, so has had a really unlucky and unfortunate start to this championship in the first 3 races. So hopefully he can turn it around here tonight.
Yeah, certainly. As people saying, very nice lap time from Tiger. It was a very good lap time from Tiger, but I have a feeling that the drivers can go a lot faster than they're going right now. I don't know. People just thought, yeah, let's not spectate JMB Cyril as he ignores the track limits there. Hakan Nizhnemoglu though, 3/10 up through the first sector, so hasn't got any traffic on this lap either. So should be hoping to improve on his time. The Turkish driver navigating turns 8 and 9 there very nicely in the pink racing point, which has actually changed to green now because we've had the Aston Martin launch. What did you think of the livery, Natty?
Yeah, just a quick spoiler alert if anyone hasn't seen it already. But I like it, but I think it could have been better. Obviously, with the BWT sponsor having to have been pink rather than a yellow or lime green stripe down the side. It's nice. I think all the liveries this season are nice, but it could be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simplistic livery, but it works, if you get what I'm saying, I feel like. I quite like it. I think I'm going to be treated to a lot of very good-looking cars in the F1 2021 game. Codemasters don't let us down now. But Hakam now coming to the line. What can it be? It's P3, 1 minute 30.0. That is a much better qualifying time from Hakam then. Currently finds himself in the podium position. So Shankster now also on a lap. But we're going to have a look in the comments to what people are saying. Good evening, Black Country Mush as well, who runs the BCMR team over in GT Sport. Piero saying that he thinks soft to hard is maybe the best, so a bit like Zanvort. Tonio's agreeing with him as well. RCX saying that he always believes in the medium to hard if there will be not a lobby restart. Yeah, hopefully we won't have any lobby restarts tonight. Hopefully the Codemasters servers will be good to us then, but let's see what Shankster can do now as he opens to DRS for the final time on this lap. To the line now, it is a 1 minute 30, 29.7 on the mediums. That's very quick from Shankster.
It's a really impressive lap from him. He's finally able to put in a good lap and show his true pace. Obviously, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, really unlucky in the first two races, but starting at a possible P3 on the medium tyres will put him in a really good position.
Yeah, certainly. Let's see what his Mercedes teammate Frozer can do in the, in my opinion, much better looking Mercedes W11, and it's a 1 minute 29.4, so he now goes into third. JMB Surreal actually slotting in between the two Mercedes there in fourth, and Shanks now drops down to fifth position. That's a very, very solid time from Shankster.
Before you die as well, the first driver into the 28.9 currently puts his house on provisional pole position. Just 5 tenths clear of Ben Roberts behind, so the first driver into the 28s, maybe the track has just evolved enough for some more competitive times now.
Yeah, it's Absolute 11 has now come out onto the track, onto a set of mediums here, Natty. So this could be interesting here from Absolute 11, our current points leader in the Premier Series. His teammate Bon Evil currently finds herself in P12, just outside of the points, coming back into the pits now. Maybe had an invalidated lap on that most recent attempt. Ted now as well, who has had some horrible luck in the first few races of this season, now coming back out onto the track onto a set of soft tyres. Let's see who's coming to the line as a racing point. That could be Joe. I think it is Joe on a time lap. His third lap on the medium tyres, so those are going to be taking a lot of life out of those tyres now. It comes to the line, it's a 1 minute 30.3, so stays in 10th place, and it must be said, Natty, he kind of needs to stop taking the life out of those tyres if he's going to start on them, and Shanks is retired from the session. Oh, 1 minute 50 to go. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the best thing for Joe is if someone was to go quicker than him, drop him down to 11th place and then start on a fresh set of mediums, because 4 laps on those tyres is definitely not going to help him for the start of this race, or even through the majority of his medium stint.
Yes, certainly. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Thunder also improving, going up into 6th place on his lap. Isaac Smart just slotting in behind him a 30 flat.
Yeah, let's see who else is coming to the line now. As cars are starting their final laps. Guillotine is also retired from this session, so won't be starting any higher than 17th. That's going to be disappointing for Guillotine, certainly. There's a Renault coming to the line now. That is on an out lap as well. GSY Bates also choosing to retire from this session, so both Williams out of this qualifying already then. There's got 1 minute left on the clock. F1 Lover is going into the pit, so F1 Lover bails on his qualifying. That's going to be 13th at best for the Alfa Romeo. Napula also on a lap with 50 seconds to go on an out lap, sorry. A Spanel as well, so we're going to have cars starting laps, so we'll pick them up as they come to the end of the lap and see what lap times they can do. Bon Evil now going for the middle sector. Absolute 11 though, this could be crucial for Absolute 11 here if he wants to get into the top 10 and start in a good position on those medium tyres. Absolute 11 with the DRS open, he won't get another chance to set another lap in qualifying. What's it going to be for Absolute 11? It's a 29.7, goes into P6 just behind Shankster, but crucially naturally there's cars behind him on faster tyres, such as Ben Roberts, who's invalidated his lap time, Natty. So Ben Roberts is out, won't improve on his lap time. Let's see who else is on a lap here. JMB Surreal coming through the middle sector, has done the fastest middle sector of anybody here. Wolfie's also retired from the session. A lot of drivers retiring in the last, in the dying moments of this qualifying session. Then it's JMB Surreal that makes his way through turns 11 and 12. Tiger Assassin has also chosen to retire from this qualifying session. JMB Surreal going through turn 12, even through turn 13 into 14 and 15, the final 2 corners. Sling it to the right, left, and then slow it down, sling it to the right. Short shift up through the gears once again, runs a bit wide, but no invalidation on this occasion. It's going to be JMB Surreal to the line. What time can he do? It's a 1 minute 29.1, so goes into second position, but nothing on to the first row, so very respectable lap time there from JMB. Absolute 11 is not on the lap. Spannel has invalidated his lap. Napula is still on the lap. Let's see what the Finnish driver can do now. Can he improve from the 8th row of the grid? Takes a very wide line into turn 12. It hasn't really hooked up the apex. Did that cost him time now? Going to the final parts of the lap. Down into 5th gear before slinging into the right for the final corner. Now short shift through the gears. Once again on board with the Haas driver. DRS open as he run up to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 29.1. Goes into third position above, just behind his teammate actually, Natty. But a Haas 1-3, they can be very happy with that performance.
Yeah, it's been overall decent and really close qualifying between everyone. Like the gap between JMBC Real and Napula, Ben Roberts and Frozer, Shanks at Absolute, so fine margins between individual drivers, so it should promote an interesting race.
Oh yeah, certainly, and we're going to have a real mix of strategies, as you were just saying there, Nat. I was looking through through the chat. Matt is saying his question. Okay. Tech is saying strange that people are qualifying on the soft. Yeah, I think people are favouring a soft to hard strategy a bit more here. Nat is saying, why the heck did he not try? I think maybe not wanting to risk the added wear on the tyres by doing 2 laps. Let's take you through the grid here. So before you die, the Scotsman leads us away from pole position. 1 minute 28.9 for the Haas. JMB Surreal in second, and Napula completes a Haas 1-3 in third. Ben Roberts fourth, Frozer in fifth, Shankster first with the medium tyre runners in sixth, Absolute 11 in seventh, Thunder 50-50 in eighth with that LLP1 penalty. Isaac Smart in ninth, Packer in 10th, Tiger just outside the top 10 in 11th, Spannel 12th, Joe 13th, Bonnie 14th, F1 Lover 15th, GSY Bait 16th, Wolfie 17th, Guillotine 18th, Ted 19th, and Cash Stengel serving his qualifying ban will round out the grid in 20th and last position. But let's talk strategy, Natty. What do you think it's going to be? What's going to be faster? Is it going to rain?
I think, judging by the people who qualified on the mediums, I don't think it's going to rain at the start. But I mean, we've heard so many different tyre strategies, both in the chat and what other people have been saying. Hard, soft hard is possible, or a hard soft. It could be a medium hard. Some people may even try the soft medium. We just have to wait and see.
Well, yes, certainly. We're going to have to see what works out, what doesn't. It's more of a question of which strategy is faster around here. Is it worth pushing flat out and going for a 2-stop? Is it worth trying to save the tyres and prolong the stint and go for a 1-stop? It's a very, very toss of the coin stuff here, as just waiting for all of the drivers to ready up, fit their make any last-minute setup changes, any last-minute fuel level changes, and we'll be able to get the formation lap underway. We've got 39 people watching. Big thank you to everyone who's watching, tuning in, and experiencing this with us. The French Grand Prix here in the Premier Series. Pierre saying, "Oh no, it's sunny." I was expecting a big. Yeah, I was also hoping for a big. Me and Natty always hoping for a big storm, but hopefully the drivers will be able to provide us with enough action that we won't feel like we need one. Thank you to all 40 people still watching. We put these races on for you guys, give you something to watch 8:30 every evening during the week. So thank you all for tuning in. Let's see who started on what tyres though, Natty.
Yeah, we've got fairly interesting mix-up outside the top 10.
Oh.
I say that, but everyone's on the mediums apart from Tiger Assassin, who's opted to start this race on the hards. The only driver to start on the hards. And Shankton obviously also on those mediums after doing the qualifying laps.
So Tiger is going to go very, very long into this stint then. This strategy might see him lose a couple of meters off the start. The drivers have elected to go for the medium, so everybody behind him. I think Tiger will be able to make that work. If you can maybe go for a set of the soft tyres, you could be rapid at the end of this race, Natty. But
yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah, so I was going to say, the start of the race is going to be the hardest phase for Tiger. Obviously, he's got 9 drivers behind him on a quicker compounder tyre, so he's going to want to try and get off to a good start he might not mind too much if he loses 2 or 3 positions off the start, but that final stint when he's on those fresh softs compared to everyone's mediums or hards, he's definitely going to have the tyre advantage come the end of the race.
Yeah, I was going to say, Natty, you definitely know how hard the start phase is around here. Do we not talk about that race now?
Nah, let's
just enjoy this one, shall we?
Yeah.
Although let's just say the last time the Premier Series raced at France, it didn't exactly end too well for a young Mr. X Nathaniel G at turn 4 on lap 2. But anyway, before you die, has really not backed up the pack here on this formation lap. Still got a lot of cars spaced out here as a Cash Stengel. Choosing to start in the medium tyres, actually. That's interesting from Cass. I would have thought he would have went for something maybe a bit more aggressive, going hard to soft. Maybe he'll even go medium to soft. We just don't know yet. So the cars pull into their grid slots. Let's watch Cash Stengel. Got the cars ghosting through each other, nothing too concerning there. So as Cass assumes the final grid spot on the grid, we'll flick our camera back up here to the front. I'll turn off the UI, and we should be able to go racing here in France. So as the revs build, the lights come on, and when they go out, we're going to be racing. It's lights out and away we go for the French Grand Prix. Before you die, off to a great start there of pole cars jostling for position in the background, very equal off of the front row as we head down in towards turn 1. JMB's real under pressure now from Napler. Napler has to back out of the move though, and the Ferrari of Ben Roberts getting a bit squirrely on exit. That's going to allow absolute 11 now in the AlphaTauri, who's had a brilliant start to get up into 5th position. As the UI, oh, we've got a big crash in the background potentially here, and bodywork flying everywhere. There's the AlphaTauri of Bonnie Evil getting a bit of damage off the start there as well. They're going to go 3-4 wide almost, as all of my interval gaps are glitching, so I have no idea how to get back up to the front of the pack. There we go. As JMB's a safety car.
Thunder's round at the back. Big crash for Thunder. He's got no wing. I think he got caught up with one of the racing points maybe. On the exit of turn 7, but one of the Alpha modes also has front wing damage. I think it's F1 lover, so a chaotic start to this race.
Oh yeah, certainly, and we saw cars going nearly 3-4 wide into turn 4 there, but the safety car being called out straight away, that seems like a bit of a overreaction almost from the game. It will give Thunder and F1 lover though a chance to pit, fix that damage and catch back up to the pack, but that means that the start's kind of been neutralised there. So let's see who our biggest movers and shakers were off the start. It's going to be, if I can get it up on the screen here, position. Right, so Guillotine up 5 positions, Cash Stengel up 6 positions. As you can see, our top 3 is more staying exactly as they were. Oh, it's into the pits. So Napila's into the pits, Froze is into the pits, Ben Robertson as well. Is this for the hard tyres? It is for the hard tyres. They're going to go to the end of this race, Natty.
Surely not.
Ben Roberts going for the mediums.
So Ben Roberts definitely on a 2 soft.
Yeah.
But surely that hards can't go to the end. I mean, we've seen some incredible tyre saving last week in the Netherlands, but surely
of those 5 cars that come into the pits, 3 have gone to the hard tyres. F1 Lover, Thunder and Froze have all gone to the hards. Ben Roberts and Napula both going to a fresh set of the mediums. Okay, so you've got intrigue straight off the bat here. How quickly will those cars be able to make their way back up through the pack? That's boosted Joe, Tiger and Hakam up a couple of positions as well, into 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. Tiger on those hard tyres, holding his own off the start though, Natty, and finds himself in quite a promising position at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a few people, well, he's got everyone around him on a quicker tyre. But out of the 8 drivers who started on the softs, we've now only got 4 of them left. So it's definitely going to help them out if they're doing the soft to hard strategy. Maybe even the medium softs might work.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, with the safety car, obviously, as you were saying, Natty, it gives the drivers a chance to just minimise the amount of wear they take out of their tyre at this stage in the race. But I must have said, Renner looking very good right now. Currently sat in 2nd and 6th, but absolute 11 has found himself up into 3rd here, Natty. And you have to say, with the way that the strategy will play out today, that's more or less the net race lead.
Yeah, he's in a good position on those mediums. He's also currently leading the Premier Series by about 22 points going into this race. So he's going to be looking for a good result and try and gain some good points over his competitors around him. Thunder's just gaining up to the back of the safety car now. It might be in this lap, but it will
that would be
probably
very
stay
late.
out for another one.
Yeah, I think it will, because it's only stayed out for one lap, so I assume the safety... Yes, it has stayed out for another lap, indeed. So we're going to have one more lap of safety car, and we should be getting back underway. But that's been a very chaotic start to this race. But we've had chaotic starts all week, Natty. I think nearly all of the leagues have had a safety car after lap 1 in some shape or form, or a big crash down at turn 3 and 4. Just the product of throwing a lot of highly competitive drivers, especially a full grid of competitive drivers at a couple of slow speed corners in the first sector. But most of the drivers getting through cleanly, and we're going to get back to green flag racing any moment now then. Let's start this other lap under the safety cars. So I think Tiger will be feeling a bit more confident about his strategy now, having 4 other people join him on it, I suppose, in a sense, as we've got overtaking under the safety car, which is obviously not allowed. I think Cass will have to give back that position, I think, unless the game has done a weird thing again, which I wouldn't put past the game. Although we've got 2 people with penalties already. Let's see, yeah, 2 5-second time penalties. So that will be for, well, either speeding in the pit lane or for collisions under the safety car. And seeing how neither of them have pitted, I assume it's for the latter.
Yeah, I've just checked the race director. Spano got a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Thunder, Bon Evil with a severe collision with Cash Demo. So I think those are for collisions under the safety car. They may be removed by the stewards after the race. We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, and Zexify coming into the chat with some good tyre life predictions. So Haas can go about 23 to 25 laps, as Zexify says, and mediums can go about 13 to 17 laps as confirmation that the safety car will be coming in this lap then. So it's not impossible for Frozer, F1 Lover and Thunder to get to the end, but they're going to be right on the edge of that tyre wear then, with 24 laps to go in this race. So Absolute 11 becomes before you die even, becomes a de facto safety car in the final sector. He will back up the pack and then decide where we get to go. Needs to be careful not to cause a big collision. He can't go and then accelerate and then stop, accelerate and then stop. That's how you end up with Mugello. But yeah, the safety car making its way into the pits now. Where will Before You Die decide to go? He's running it right to the limit, which could cause problems into the final corner. But Before You Die has gone now. He's caught J&B Surreal napping, because here comes Absolute 11 now. He's going to be challenging the Renault on the outside into turn 1. Can Absolute 11 get his way up into second place? They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 1, and Absolute 11 round the outside. Great move there from the points leader, but he's got a bit squirrely on exit. And now here comes J&B Surreal in towards turns 3 and 4 round the outside on the soft tyres, and J&B Surreal with equally brilliant move takes a position back from the championship leader.
Yeah, I've just been having a look towards the back of the grid. It didn't look like Wolfie had the better start, dropping from about 14th to 20th.
And J&B Surreal's had a spin, and that's let Isaac Smart and Absolute go through here, and it's put him under pressure from Shanks in the first of the black Mercedes cars. He might put out to the inside as we go down the back straight. Now could this go 3 wide with the Renaults trying to split the Ferrari and the Mercedes, but Shanks is going to make the move down the inside into the chicane, and that spin really has cost J&B Surreal a lot of ground here.
Yeah, now down to 5th place. The Renault's running in 5th and 6th. Here comes the other Renault. Spano looking for a move on his teammate into the fast right-hander, but decides to back out of that one. He's got Joe right behind them as well. So overall, decent safety car restart.
And Shanks looking for the move now, and Ben Roberts as well at turn 11, but nothing on not making anything. Oh, Ben Roberts is off! Oh, that's Isaac Smart. Isaac Smart's off. And he's lost a big chunk of his front wing there, and that has put Shankster up into P3 now, so once again runs in the podium positions. You've got Spano going very wide there, and letting Joe get past him into the final parts of the lap. So Joe pushing his way now up into 5th position. We've got cars coming into the pits. That will be Isaac Smart to fix that damage, and that's actually picks up a 5-second time penalty here, Natty.
Yeah, unfortunately for Isaac Smart, I'm not sure if that was contact. I think he just lost it on the curve. Here comes Ben Roberts looking to move on Frozer for 14th. The Ferrari down the inside of the Mercedes, later on the brakes and gets the move down up into 4th.
There's a bit of contact though from Frozer on the rear wing of the Ferrari. Now Nakpila trying to make the move on the Mercedes as well into turn 4. Can he make it work? Just Frozer just managed to keep it around the outside, and that was a very good defense there from the Mercedes driver, as Joe looking at the back. Joe can't find himself in the Renault sandwich, as a Racing Point often does in the real world, as Hakkinen and Mugli now looking at the back of Tiger holding up a bit of a train, it must be said, in the middle sector down the back straight. GSY Bates picks up a 3-second time penalty as well now for cutting the track. As we've got Cash Stengel making a move on Guillotine maybe into turn 10. Does he pull to the inside? No, stays behind on this occasion.
On Tiger was gaining so much down the second half of the straight, didn't decide to go for a move. Looked like he was going to go down inside, but the Racing Point decides to stay behind to leave McLaren in the corner.
Yeah, and the hards on the McLaren just not really firing up at the moment. Oh, as Hakkan's very wide. They're going to go 3 wide, Natty, through turn 12 into 13 and 14. Who?
Front right end plate damage on the Williams of Guillotine.
Oh. And that is a very, I don't know where he's picked that one up from, as DRS has been enabled. Then the slot in the rear wing of the car will gain the drivers an extra straight line speed boost to try and aid overtaking here in the French Grand Prix, as we've got a massive train of cars here, Natty, from 7th down to 13th, and they're all in a massive McLaren stand, which is Ted bringing up the rear of this group.
Yeah, it's all so close. There's just a little bit of a gap between Frozer and Ted, but Nakpila also getting past Ben Roberts through the final corner. Just thought I'd catch up on that now. But Joe looking for a move potentially on JMB Cyril. He's gaining so much on the Renault. Here he goes, Joe to the inside with the DRS, fighting it down the straight and trying to use all the straight line speed he has with the DRS and gets moved down up into 4th place ahead of the Renault.
Look, Cash Stengel making the move on Tiger Assassin as well into the chicane. Hakkan on Guillotine, but that was a bit, that was lag. A bit of lag there as Hakkan goes wide and lets 3 cars go through here. And Ted's looking very hungry now on the back of GSY Bates. The Irishman, can he make a move on the Williams? They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 10. Ted on the inside forces the Williams right. Can he get the other one into turn 11? Has to back out of the move, but that was a great move there from Ted to put his McLaren up into 11th place.
Yeah, Ted displaying some good pace after the safety car restart. As a frozen Hakkinen.
Oh, Frozen has been contact! And they're both round. I just caught the end of that, Natty. As Frozer, a bit of miscommunication there from Frozer. Oh, he's really crashed into Thunder as well. Frozer really out of the groove at the moment.
And the leader before you die comes into the pits from the softs onto another set of softs, so 2-stop.
So committing then to the 2-stop. A lot of drivers opting for the 2-stop then, it looks like, in this race. That's surprising to see, Natty.
Yeah, I think the majority of freshmen were committed to the 1-stop until the safety car came out. So the majority going for a 2-stop is definitely going to be interesting if the Super League drivers are watching this.
Yeah, certainly. As a Shankster and Absolute 11 now, separated by just over a second here. Shankster really starting to put the pressure now on Absolute 11, who has run in the podium positions in every race so far this season, but hasn't picked up a podium yet. As Tiger now coming under pressure from Bonivo. Bonnie pulls out to the left-hand side of the track and gets moved on before we even get to the braking zone. GSY Bates, similarly to his teammate, as Ted has actually got past both Williamses there and puts himself up into 9th position. Can he chase down his teammate Tiger Assassin? Spannel and Cash Stengel going wheel to wheel into turn 10, and Cash Stengel gets the move done now on his teammate. Great move there. Oh, it's getting over.
I was going to say I'm going to be the one to bring this up. It's getting very overcast all of a sudden. Hello.
Natty, have you done it again? Have you done it again, Natty?
Things are starting to get a little bit more spicy as Ben Roberts goes down the inside of Thunder into, I don't know what to call it, I think that's turn 13, I think? I'm not sure.
To turn 13 now as Thunder keeps moving on the inside. The Ferrari runs off the track. I'm going to go back up here to the lead though, Natty, because they're separated by less than a second now. Sorry about all the other battles happening, but this is for the lead of the race. And if that rain comes down soon, Natty, this could really play into the hands of the top 3. Currently Absolute 11, Shankster and Joe. Joe 3.9 seconds behind this battle, but these two battling could play into his hands as well. He's going to go on board now with Shankster as he works away at the wheel through the middle sector. sector. It's really getting overcast now, Natty. I think we're going to see some rain here, maybe.
We might see some rain.
As now Shanks is going to have the DRS open on absolute 11. DRS open now for the Mercedes, chasing down the AlphaTauri down the back straight here in towards the chicane of turn 8, 9 and 10. Can Shanks make a move maybe into turn 10? Just a bit too far on this occasion, but has got about the same ERS as the AlphaTauri in front. Does Shanks to go for this move? It's very reminiscent, actually, of the last time the Premier Series raced here in France, as we had a great battle for the lead there, freeway battle for the lead on that occasion, as Cash Stengel round the outside of JOP Surreal at turn 10. That was a beautiful move from the Dutch driver. Puts himself up now into 4th position, but it looks like the medium tyres are really working at the moment, Natty. Look at that, the top 4 on the mediums. Yellows in sector 3, Shankster's round, no! And Shankster's spun round again after being in the podium position. Shankster has spun round. And it's raining! I have rain on my screen. Is it raining on your screen?
I'm not sure. Looking at the chat, apparently no rain's due. Some people are saying 10 to 15 minutes.
I don't know if it's just my TV, maybe. It looked like it was raining on my screen.
As Ted and Tiger swapping positions going into turn 1, those medium seeds will be quicker than the hards. But maybe we might have a Super League Monza moment from last season where it might rain, but not enough for the intermediates.
Well, I think the game has certainly pulled a bit of a mad one here then. Was Bonnie on all over the back of Spanel now in the battle for 4th position. We'll have the DRS now down the back straight. Spanel goes defensive. What can Bonnie do to try and get past the Renaults who go down the back straight in towards turns 8, 9 and 10. Gonna pull to the inside, but nothing doing under braking at this point in time. Let's go on board now with the AlphaTauri. Spanel gets a bit squirrely on exit. That's going to give Bonnie a chance into turn 10. Going to move it to the inside, pulls back into the slipstream. Does Spanel go defensive? Chooses not to cover off the inside line. It's there if you want to go for it, but he's gone wide now, and that's going to allow Bonnie on the inside into turn 11. Late braking. That was a good move from Bonnie to under braking to push her way now up into 4th position. It's all of a sudden looking very, very nice for the AlphaTauri team. Currently find themselves in 1st and 4th.
Yeah, Thunder as well getting ahead of before you go. Thunder in those hard tyres after pitting on the opening lap after getting wing damage on the exit of turn 7. He's now trying to fight his way through the field as he gets a big snap of oversteer. But yeah, the field is still fairly close after 10 laps. And we've got people saying if the rain's coming in 15 minutes, Tiger is in a good position, definitely on those hard tyres, running in 7th place, just a second and a half behind his McLaren teammate.
Sorry, I had to go and plug in my phone to a charger, and I failed to plug in my charger, so yeah. Shanks now behind Tiger is really starting to struggle on those hard tyres. Yellow's in sector 1, that's a Ferrari. Is that Isaac Smart? It is. And he's round at the final corner. He needs to be careful not to... Oh, he's retired from the session here, Natty, with front wing damage on that Ferrari. That looks like, well, it must have been a manual retirement because there was not terminal damage done to that car. Let's see where the battles are at the moment then. So Shanks has got past Tiger for 7th position now. F1 Lover is going wheel to wheel with Gios like Bates and Frozer going wheel to wheel, sorry. As the Mercedes making its way past the Williams. Can he make a move on the Alfa Romeo? Are we going to go 3 wide into turn 10? Just backs out of it on this occasion. So Frozer's choosing to play it a bit patient now. He's going to go down the inside of F1 Lover. Oh, he spun! He spun! And that was Tokyo Drift through turn 11 from the German driver there. Great stuff from Fraser, great car control, and manages to keep it pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, somehow didn't lose the car. I'm not sure what happened to Ben Roberts, but I just saw he lost 2 positions to Thunder, and Wolfie might have made a small mistake, but it looks like he's back in control, still running closely behind the 2 Red Bulls down in 16th place.
Yes, certainly. As Napler now making the move on Tiger Assassin into turn 1 on the inside. Fairly textbook move there from Napler, puts his Haas now up into P8. Ted, it must be said, is having a brilliant race up there in P6, but Shanks is trying to make it a bit worse on the inside into turn 3. Makes the move work on the inside, gets it done. Shanks are back up into 6th position and not messing around today. Cash Degel now in 3rd position, trying to make up for his qualifying ban. DRS open on the racing point of Joe in front. Let's get the UI off the screen for a second there as Cash Stengel trying to make a move down the inside into the hairpit, into the chicane, sorry. And what can Cash Stengel do now under acceleration? Has got more usable energy than Joe in the racing point ahead of us. Let's bring the UI back up here to see what the gap is, about 5/10 of a second. But we've got very close between Frozer and Bates once again into the chicane. Frozer making the move and making it stick this time on GSY Bates.
Yes, Thunder, Wolfie, Ben Roberts and James Beast are all having a complete ding-dong as there's contact between the Renault and the Ferrari. But Wolfie making a mistake but was able to recover and get back ahead of the Ferrari. Ben Roberts losing out to James Beast as well in this battle.
And I think Cash Stegnell's going to be coming past Joe here down the main straight. DRS will be open once again for the Alfa Romeo driver. Can he make a move on Joe into turn 1? He's gaining all the time, gaining, but nothing worth doing here. The strategy window is now open now for a one stop to the hard tyres. So are these mediums starting to reach the end of their lifespan here?
Yeah, possibly. I think the game says lap 12 or something for the one stop onto hard. Says before you die is getting past Bates. That two stop before you die is I mean, he's keeping up with the guys gaining on those soft tyres. The field's so close, it's going to be a lot of overtaking for him if he's finished high in this race.
Well, this is where it's crucial, because if this rain is coming, it really needs to come soon for these medium tyre runners in Natty, because they're starting to get to the end of their life on the tyres. Cash Stengel just showing his nose there to Joe, just letting him know that he's there. He's all over the back of him on his gearbox, but not going to go for a move just yet. He's going to time it nicely for the Dutch driver, trying to pressurise the racing point into a mistake potentially, but he's got a great run now out of turn 10, pushes Joe through turn 10 into turn 11 now. Cass on the inside. Joe's going to try and defend this now. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 11, and what a battle this is now for 2nd position. Joe on the inside. Cass then was going to try and get this cut back now, going for a later apex. Has got a better drive off the corner, looks to the inside for turn 13, and Cass Stengel now on the inside. Can Joe hold this round the outside? Yes, he can. They're still wheel to wheel through the final quarter. Cass slots in behind but gets better traction. Who has DRS? I think Joe has DRS. Neither of them have DRS even. So it's going to... Oh, Absolute 11's in the pits for the hard tyres, Natty. He obviously thinks it's not going to rain then. So Absolute 11 coming into the pits. Cash Stengel, though, still behind Joe at this point.
Yeah, an absolutely great battle for what is now the lead of the race. Spaniel into the pits as well, serving a 5-second time penalty. And Absolute coming into pits for the hards may suggest that there is going to be no rain, unfortunately, for the second half of this race. But what an amazing battle we've got up front.
Yeah, certainly, yes. I'm kind of hoping it does rain now, because that's going to be quite the comeback drive, as the DRS is open for Cash Stengel now. Nothing Joe can do to defend. He's going to squeeze into the inside of what they're going to make contact there, but Cash Stengel then blasting past the racing point, needs to get away now from Joe in the final couple of sectors here to make sure that Joe doesn't have that DRS advantage, and next time they go down their back straight.
Yeah, we've also got a battle here for 7th place. Tiger still on those hard tyres, and you can see rather holding up F1 level before we die. Frozen, what could soon be an Absolute 11 on the back of this train, has confused some good overtaking in this fight as well. So we've got fights all over the grid in this race.
Yeah, Shanks now trying to get back on into the podium positions, currently pressurising Bon Evil for 3rd position there after having that spin. It's raining! And Cass has just come into the pits. Joe's into the pits. Is this for are these for the slick tyres?
Bonnie stays out, Shanks stays out.
Napula stays out, Ted has stayed out. What tyres have Joe and Cass put on? It's slicks.
Tiger's in a really good position here. So's F1 and Frozen on those hard tyres. They're not going to feel the wear on those tyres as much as all the guys on the soft tyres. So everyone who's just pitted, how quick is this rain going to come?
Well, and we know how quickly the weather can turn on a dime in this game, Natty. That's really played out well for Bonnie, Shankster, Napula, Ted and Tiger. The entire top 7 even, all of which have not made a pit stop. Wow, okay, so this race has been turned on its head now. We hope for rain, it's come. And now what can the drivers do with it? Shanks of DRS now on the back of Bonnie Evil. He needs to make this move fairly quickly before the rain gets too heavy. Shanks now going to look to the inside line with the DRS open, late braking, and Shanks gets the move done on the Alpha Tauri.
Drivers as well, like Before You Die and JMB Cyril, who are on kind of on softs as JMB Cyril is being overtaken by Absolute 11. Frozer and F1 Lover as well, going wheel to wheel. And yeah, the rain needs to come now, otherwise those soft tyres are going to burn and possibly puncture after 4 laps.
Natty, as it was last year, you've got a 3-way battle for the net race lead at the moment here. I'm going to take EY off the screen. It's actually involving Napula again. It's more or less the same as the first season. Napula and Shanks are then going to go for it once again here in France in the Premier Series. As Napula's going to look to the inside on the Alpha Tauri of Bonnie Evil, but nothing doing there on lap 14 of 27, who just ticks over half race distance now. As Napula's going to have a DRS, Bonnie Evil's going to have a DRS now, and Shankster. Cars are coming into the pits here, Natty. I don't think it's wet enough yet for the intermediates. Ted is going on to a set of the hards. Is that because the mediums are coming to the end of their life, or is that because it's not going to rain enough? Yellow's in sector 1, Tiger! It's Tiger who's round! Oh, what? I think it was. I'm not sure, but we've had Yellow's in sector 1. We've got Hakan who's round at the pit entry. Did Tiger drop positions there? Or was that just my screen?
2.2 seconds behind Absolute F1 Lover. He was up there battling with those guys, so either there was a mistake or contact, but someone else came into the pit. I think Before You Die as well onto the medium tyre, so maybe it might not rain enough for intermediates. As Joe's getting past Bates down the back straight and up into 10th place. This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, if the rain doesn't come down enough to the point where we need intermediate tyres...
Bonnie Evil, down the inside of the Alpha Tower, gets up into 2nd place.
It's going to be Napula versus Shanks then once again for the win here in the Premier Series. Both these drivers have stood on the podium in this series before. Let's see who can get it done today. They're like 15 of 27. Both of these drivers have been staying out for a long time here, Natty. As Bonnie Evil comes into the pits. What tyres are these for? It's not raining enough, Natty. It's just not raining enough for the Inters.
It's like Monza from the Super League last season. It's raining, but it's not enough for the Inters. It's really an awkward changeover.
And it's the it's the white stripe. Oh, Bonnie's serving a 5-second time penalty, but it is the white striped hards then for the Alpha Tauri. Shankster and Napula both staying out though. Shanks has been on those tyres since the beginning of this race, doing an absolutely sterling job on those medium tyres. Also the qualifying on those tyres, so really doing a very good job. Is Shankster at the moment then, currently managing to hold Napula at bay. Froze is about 7 seconds behind this now in 3rd place, with F1 Lover putting him under pressure, but Napula looking to make her move for the lead with the DRS open. Shanks has got a lot less ERS. Sorry, I can't speak English today. As Napula now closing onto the back of the German driver as they head up in towards turn 10 for the 16th time this evening. As Joe making a move on his good friend Tiger Assassin up into 7th place now.
This is going to be interesting to see how far Shankster and Napula decide to take their mediums. Do they try and push to what could be a possible interstage, or do they keep pushing, hoping for inters, and then maybe pit for softs for the final 7-8 laps of this race?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know which way this is going. It's not raining enough here. Oh, Shanks is in. So there's our answer. And it's not raining enough for the intermediate tyres. It's literally Monza from last season. It's for the so Shanks pits for the hard tyres. I would have thought he would have gone for the softs at this late stage in the race. Only got 10 laps left to go. He could make it work.
But Napula now finds himself in the lead of this race, full of unknowns. As we were talking about the strategy at the start of the race, saying how there were many different options and different tyre strategies, but now it's just all been thrown out the window with this rain.
Oh yeah, certainly, but we don't know how heavy it's going to get. We just have absolutely no idea up here in the commentary box. I'm sure the drivers know down on the track because they've seen the weather forecast, but I'm sure Jeff will be telling them all what's going on. But the rain isn't picking up in intensity here at the moment.
Yeah, so Bon Evil just getting ahead of Ben Roberts. In the battle for 13th place, Ted currently leading this sort of train as Ben Roberts made a little bit of a mistake, and before he died, went through that open door and is now up into 14th place.
And Shankster now moves his way up into 10th place with a move on GSY Bates. Gets a 3-second time penalty whilst doing it though, so that will not be for desired effect from that manoeuvre. But oh, Absolute Eleven's got wing damage. Absolute Eleven's got front left end plate damage here, Natty. And will they have to come into the pits to fix that?
I mean, he might do. He's on 4-lap old hards. It doesn't look like he's pitting. He'll decide to stay out. But
that's put Cash Stengel now back up into the battle for this race win then. Because if the cars in front will have to pit, which they do, this could really play into the hands of Cash Stengel here. And Joe, if you remember Joe from before this stint, was about 4 seconds behind. He's gained over a second now on these front two who are essentially battling for the lead. As now Cash Stengel's going to make a move on Absolute 11 into turn 3. Cash Stengel on the inside after starting bone last finds himself in the net. Oh, intermediates to JMB Surreal. Are we seeing a transit? We are. But intermediates for Ben Roberts as well. GSY Bates has gone to the Inters. Guillotine now. Is this for the Inters as well? So, and now Napula finds himself in a really good position. Frozer and F1 Lover as well. And we're seeing cars coming for the Inter. I don't know how to call this race, Natty.
I mean, riding on board with these drivers, the rain does look to be intensifying. But the tricky situation for the two Alfa Romeos now. F1 Lover actually lets Cash Stengel go through. So if it is time for intermediates, they're going to have to double stack, and it looks like F1 Lover is giving priority to his teammate Cash Stengel.
Yes, I mean that would mean that Nightblower now finds himself in the lead by 6.7 seconds.
And will the Haas driver pit there at the end of this lap? And he does not.
Stays out for another lap then on those medium tyres. Let's see how Ben Roberts and JMB Surreal get on though.
It looks like the top 5, the top 6 haven't pit either. Though I'm going to keep an eye out on those intermediate times. JMB Surreal's back into the pits, so maybe it's not prime. Oh no, sorry, it says it's on pit. It's in the pits for me.
Oh yeah, it says that for me as well. I think that's just the game. Oh, Napula's disconnected! Napula's disconnected, no! And now Frozer's going to go past Napula. Safety car!
We've
got a mass disconnection. Mass disconnection.
JMB Surreal's left spanels left.
Ah, I think the lobby's just crashed. Yeah, everyone's leaving. Yeah, you've had a lobby. We've had a lobby glitch. You've had a lobby glitch. We just had a mass exodus of cars. I think it's stopped now. Alright, I'm going to check the race director and see who's still here and who isn't. Actually, I'm going to go on board with some cars and see who's still here and who isn't. So Napula's gone.
I'll try and get a few people back into the race as well.
We've still got people in the race. Ben Roberts has now left the session.
It says it's already retiring.
Alright. Bonnie's still here, I think.
Looks like the top 5, but Napula are in. I think Joe's still in.
Yeah, I think most people are still okay. Most people are still okay, I think. Yeah, people are joining back now, so the safety car should give them a chance. Oh, but they're coming to the
pits.
That's for Inters. That must be for Inters. It's for softs. Frozer's on softs. F1 Lover. What's this for? This is for the red stripe soft tyre. So it's not going to rain enough for the intermediate tyres. As Absolute Eleven also picks up a new front winglet from the Alpha Tauri boys. Gets it all clear to go back out on track. He's going to be behind Joe. Tiger's pitted for the soft tyres, so it's not going to rain enough for the Inters. That's confirmed, surely.
And I don't know if it's just me, but James was disqualified, but his car's still on the track. Oh no, there it goes, sorry.
Yeah.
This disappeared. But,
so, how can...
So Cash Dangle in a really good position. From the back of the grid.
I mean, yeah. But on those hard tyres, surely he's going to just get eaten up by the people who've gone on to the fresh set of softs.
And Napier as well, because he's just joined back. I don't think he got to the pit lane in time.
And he has to pit.
On his 18 lap mediums.
Yeah, and Napier... oh no, he doesn't have to pit because obviously he had that damage on lap 1, so...
Yeah, so I was going to say started on the softs.
Yeah, exactly. So doesn't have to pit, but... That's that's a bit...
25 laps on mediums. I mean, I think the game says you can only do 14 or 15.
The game says you can do 25 laps on the hards.
Well, I guess if Napula gets to the end of this race on those mediums, he deserves a medal.
He deserves, like, I don't even know.
One of those Pirelli tyres they give pole position.
I mean, he deserves all of Lewis Hamilton's wins and money. We'll Napula box then, so... Napula stays... Oh no, okay, does box. That's going to drop him now way outside the top 10, surely. That's put Cash Tegel into the lead. That's put Cash Tegel into the lead of this race from last. From last on the grid, Cash Tegel leads to this race.
Well, this race has been turned upside down and flipped on its head.
It's been turned inside out.
Joe is well down in 6th place. I thought he was battling with the likes of Frozer and F1 rather.
I just don't... Okay, so, quick rundown for all of you who are just joining us. We had a bit of an incident on lap 1 at the back of the field, which resulted in Thunder getting some very heavy wing damage. Safety car on lap 1. For most of the race, we've had... for the first part of the race, Before You Die, leading the way, but he went in uncommitted to a 2-stop strategy. Currently finds himself on the medium tyres in 5th position. We then had Napula, Shankster and Bonnie Evil who were battling for the lead earlier on in the race, and now as another safety car window as the rain is starting to come down. No drivers have committed now to the intermediate tyres, so it's not going to rain enough for those intermediates. And we have no idea who's going to win this race. No idea.
Well, I mean, the last time you and I commentated at France, last season, the freshman, was the crossover point between Inters and Wets for the whole thing. And now we've got it's kind of a crossover between Softs and Inters.
Napula says that he can do 21 laps on the mediums. If he... Yeah, that was not going to work. So Napula now finds himself in 13th position. So as we predicted, Natty out of the points, but crucially on a fresh set of soft tyres. I don't think we're going to get the safety car in for a while here. Hakan Nisnamoglu's only coming through turn 5 now. I think I've got a horrible downshifting noise there from Cash Dengle's car, so we won't spectate that.
And well, I mean, since the start, the rain's definitely intensified. This could be close with the final few laps if it gets heavier for intermediates, but that awkward phase where it's not enough time left in the race to pit for the wet tyres.
Yeah, certainly. Natty, if you could shoot Spanelin in, like, that would be good, because he's currently disconnected. Just checking for the rest of it. I think he is the only one. So it looked like we had a lobby glitch, but actually didn't. Guillotine's nearly crashed under the safety car there for the second time in his career, but managed to keep it out of the wall. Luckily, it wasn't into anyone else this time.
We go, Spano. If you're watching, Spano just sent me a few invites, so you should be able to join the lobby back in time for the restart.
Yeah, we saw J&B got disqualified for parking in a dangerous position, and yeah, I think Ben spun out and hit the wall. I think there might have been a manual retirement, but after the Ferraris having a decent opening to this race, they now find themselves out of the race even.
Yeah, really unfortunate for both drivers. And J&B Surreal, who was up there battling with the front runners, as their Spano has going back, should be able to get with Leno just in time for the race to restart. And the safety car probably be in this lap. Hacker appears to be joining the back of the safety car queue. Should get there before the final.
Nighty, I've just realised something. Look at how many of the grid have Spanos just left again. Look at how many of the grid have penalties and who doesn't. We've got most of the top 10 with penalties. Only Frozer and Absolute 11 don't have any penalties. And Bon Evil, but she's in 14th. Safety car will be in this lap, so confirmation there. Spanel is leaving and joining a lot, which is worrying. But Cash Tengel is going to become the de facto safety car then in the final sector. Hopefully it will go better than it did the last time he was the de facto safety car in the final sector.
Thanks to having that spin, is now back up into second place.
But I was gonna...
This race is just insane.
I don't know, but the range is coming down, and it looks like it's getting heavier by the second. Cash Stengel now is going to lead us to the green flag. Safety car is in the pits. Cash Stengel's going to decide where we go back to green racing. There's no grip out there. Natty, the tyres are cold, but boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go back to racing here. We've got cars nearly spinning at the final corner. Let's go back to green flag racing. It's already an Alfa Romeo 1-2. Cash Stengel leads the way.
Yeah, so towards the back of the grid, Napula lost the rear and Bon Evil went into the back of the hat. She's now got wing damage.
They're going wheel to wheel at the front though here. Natty Frozer forcing F1 Lover wide. He's now back down to 4th. Here comes Joe looking at the back of the Alfa Romeo as well. Going into turn 3, nothing doing there. Cash Stengel already with a small lead of 0.6 of a second over Shankster. He's trying to fend off his Mercedes teammate, but Frozer's going to go round the outside. There's contact between the two teammates. F1 Lover now looking for a move down the inside of both of them as they go on to the back straight. They're going to go nearly 3 wide. F1 Lover around the outside. What a move. There's in sector 2, there's a Williams round, and that's GSY base. They're going to go 3 wide into the hairpin. Joe, they're going to go 4 wide nearly. And Joe's going to make a triple overtake here down the inside. It's going to be the two Mercedes to come out on top. Frozer getting the move done and now tries to chase down Cash Stengel. He's got 9 lap hard. F1 Lover's off. F1 Lover's off on the infield there. That's about Tiger Assassin now to get through up into 6th position. Joe's going to go round the outside of turn 10 of Shankster. Is he? They're going to go wheel to wheel. There's contact. They're in the wall. Shankster and Joe out of the race. Absolute 11's in 3rd virtual safety car. Wolfie's off as well. Shankster's out of the race again.
Wow. Just... wow.
So the race has been neutralised. Joe's out of the session as well. And straight off the bat, we've had 2 of our protagonists for the win in this race out under the virtual safety car. We're going to go back to green flag racing once again. Tiger's been caught napping now by the Alfa Romeo with F1 Lover, but nothing doing there on this occasion. Absolute 11 in 3rd position, all over the back of Frozer as well. For 2nd, Cash Stengel still leads this race, but he's on those hard tyres. He's already going to be feeling the effects of a tyre wear. Here comes Frozer now, an absolute 11. Tiger Assassin's only 1.8 seconds behind this in 4th position. It could still be a very good finish here as Frozer's got so much more grip than Cass. Cass isn't going to be able to hold on to this. There's contact. Was there damage done there between the two cars? Nothing doing. They're absolute 11 now. Somehow Nasty finds himself back into the battle for the lead of the race. Frozer's going to look to the inside and Cash Tengle now using all of the ERS that he has defends the inside. Can Frozer work this to the outside? Going to sell him the dummy. Going to switch it back, but nothing doing there for Frozer. Cass putting up a beautiful defense here against the faster car, but Froze nearly gets squeezed out of room on the inside, switches it to the outside. Ted picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Tiger's gaining on this in the background as well. Nowhere for Froze to go now. He's trying to do his best to get past Cash Demo. Does Cash defend to the inside? Only 3 laps left to go. Froze is going to drive up to the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 11. Cass knows he's there, leaves in the room, but here comes Absolute 11 now, as Froze are going to drive it round the outside of Cash Deggle, and Froze gets to move into the lead of the race, and you've got a Red Bull round. I think that's Wolfie. Wolfie's round at turn 11 now, but Froze keeps a move round the outside. He's got no ERS left, and Absolute 11 down the inside of Cash Deggle, and Cass is falling through the field like a stone here. Could Tiger get on the podium, Natty?
Well, if we see what happens, Joe and Shankster, if the same thing happens to the front three, he could potentially even win this race. Just having a quick look at the penalties, and a few drivers having drive-through penalties pretty for the virtual safety car. There's actually no grip out on track.
I honestly can't call who's going to win this race. Frozen and Absolute, both on the same aged soft tyres, both having 5-lap-old soft tyres, but Cash Stengel, after putting up a valiant effort, is falling through the field like a stone here, as Absolute 11 is only half a second behind Frozer. Tiger though, Tiger making a move on Cash Stengel. This could put him into the podium positions. DRS is open, goes down the inside. Tiger assassin on the inside of Cash Stengel, now into the chicane of turns 8, 9 and 10. Tiger's going to get done on the inside with this contact, and Tiger's round. He picks up another 3-second time penalty, and the stewards might have to look into that one, Natty.
And yeah, really unfortunate for Tiger as well, picking up a 3-second time penalty there. That really was not his fault, going across the curb like that. But wow, the track seems to be clearing. The rain seems to have decreased in intensity, and we've still got an incredible battle for the lead of the race, both drivers without any penalties.
Oh, and F1 Lover's gone very wide in the final sector here, but we saw team orders before between the two Alfa Romeos. Will we see it again? As yes, we do. Cash Stengel lets F1 Lover go through.
Absolute 3-second time penalty.
Oh, that's huge for this race. That's huge for this race. Oh, and Tiger's round. Tiger's nearly round at the final corner again. He drops behind Thunder now, but for Absolute 11's making the move on Frozer. But Absolute 11 has picked up a 3-second time penalty here, Natty. So he needs to pull out a gap of 3 seconds on Frozer, or hope that the German gets another penalty in the final 2 laps of this race. And it's just been, oh, Frozer 3-second time penalty. Frozer 3-second time penalty now. So Absolute 11 has the win on track once again. All of the cars left in the race have a penalty.
The rain stopped. The rain has stopped for the penultimate lap of this race. Thunder as well, after spinning on the opening lap, being caught up in a collision with no front wing, is up into 5th place. Cash Stengel wins 4th, starting from the back. And the front two both picking up penalties on the penultimate lap. And
Frozen now only 0.4 of a second behind Absolute 11 as they go down the second part of the back straight. Can Frozen make a move into turn 10? He's too far back on this occasion. He needs to make sure that Absolute 11 doesn't get too far away from him. And Natty, it's completely dry now. It's completely dry.
I mean, this race has been flipped upside down, flipped again, turned inside out, and now it's just been thrown completely out the window.
And somehow we've got the two people who have won a race this season on the podium in 1st and 2nd position, but that definitely doesn't tell the full story of this race, as Wolfie's actually retired from the race. I didn't even see that. I think that was a manual time at the final corner, but Absolute and Frozen, Absolute 11's already pulled out a gap of a second now to Frozen. F1 Lover currently still in 3rd, Cash Stengel under pressure from Thunder in 4th, but don't forget Thunder does have that LLP1 place penalty, so will drop a position from wherever he finishes today. Tiger's been dropped, by this group, and currently under pressure from Bon Evil into turn 1. Bonnie making the move on the inside and gets past Tiger Assassin and gets herself up into 6th position. But Absolute 11, the gap is just under a second. Absolute 11 goes a bit wide, but so does Frozen now. Frozen knows this is his last chance, really, to get past Absolute 11. He knows he's going to deploy all of his ERS. They both are. DRS open for Frozen. This is going to be a late move if he goes for it, but he's got got no ERS. Absolute Eleven's only got 3% left. It's late braking for Frozer. We're on board now with the Mercedes as we go down the back straight for the final time. Frozer needs to make this move on track. Absolute Eleven's got no ERS left. Frozer's got no ERS left. Frozer does the fastest middle section of anybody. Absolute Eleven weaving now to break the slipstream. This is where Frozer's going to have the dirty air effect going through the final section. The gap's only 0.3 of a second. Can Frozer do anything here? Can he go for a dive bomb somewhere in the final sector? Is he going to send it at turn 13? Can't on this occasion. He needs a mistake from Absolute 11. He really does need a mistake from Absolute to try and get this win. Now Absolute 11 into the penultimate corner for the final time here in France. It doesn't look like anything's going to be able to stop him. Absolute 11's going to make it 3 wins from 4 races, but what a race this has been. It's going to be Absolute 11. He takes it though, and Absolute 11 wins the French Grand Prix. Frozer in second, F1 Lover in third, Cash Tegel holding on in fourth. Cash Tegel gets third on penalties. Thunder in 5th, Bonnie will finish 6th, Tiger will be disappointed with 7th, I think. Guillotine is going to come across that in 8th somehow. Napula will be disappointed with that in 9th, but Tiger actually falls to 9th on penalties. And before you die, he started on pole, finishes in 10th position.
As Bates comes across the line just outside the points, and Hacker actually goes up into 10th place and is gaining 1 point from this. Ted in 13th, and Spanel now coming around the final corner, who come across the line and finish in 14th. Is actually going to slow right down to the line.
Yeah, I think definitely not happy with that race. How was Absolute 11 done that?
That was incredible.
What a race that was. What a race that was. Premier Series again has not failed to disappoint here. That was an amazing race.
As the Cash Daniel gets the in-game driver of the day, going from the back of the grid to, I think it was 4th place in the end.
Yeah, I think he got up into 3rd. No, on penalties he got 3rd.
So a really good drive from him. Both Alfa Romeos actually getting 3rd and 4th in the race. That's good points for them in the constructors.
Wow, what a race. Somehow Absolute 11 has won that after having wing damage midway through the race, which opens up his lead in the championship to about 29 points now. So he's only failed to win one of the opening 4 races, but let's take you through the final the final grid positions here. So Absolute 11 wins the race, throws a second, but with fastest lap points that will take some bit of a sting out of the tail, finishing second there. Cass from 20th to 3rd. Brilliant job. F1 Lover in 4th, Bonnie in 5th, Thunder 6th, but will fall to 7th with an LLP1, Guillotine in 7th position, Nakla in 8th, Tiger 9th, and Hakan rounding out the top 10. Before You Die in 11th, Shears by Bates 12th, Ted, still no points for Ted in 13th, Spanel in 14th, and then the first of our DNFers, Wolfie in 15th, Joe and Shams having that crash in the latter stages of the race, J&B Surreal, Ben Robertson, Isaac Smart finished the people who did not finish the race, but what a race that was.
I mean, it was absolutely insane. We had a great battle at the start of the grid in the opening laps, a few collisions, and then it started getting overcast. People saying in the chat it's not going to rain, 10 to 15 minutes maybe, and then it started to rain, but it wasn't enough for intermediate. Some drivers went on to intermediates, then we had a safety car, then we had some damage, and then another extra safety car. Somehow Absolute 11's won the race.
And absolutely, you left out, but Absolute 11 had wing damage in there. He had wing damage and he came back. Wow. But that is not it for the action in France here, because join Tiger and Dutchy tomorrow in the commentary box where we're back at France for the Super League, the fastest drivers. It goes racing on F1. Me and Natty are in that one if you want to watch us drive for a change. But join us tomorrow at 8:30 for that. There's no GT Sport this week on a break week in the gap between Group 4 and Group 3. But GT Sport will be back next week, Friday at 8 o'clock for Lago Maggiore. But that race was crazy. And Premier Series drivers you've done yourselves very, very proud. That was an amazing race. Very well done to Absolute 11, to all of the drivers who got to the end of the race. Even that was incredible. And from me and Natty, that like hats off. Let's get some instant reaction from the chat as well before we end the lobby. Nat was saying, yeah, he was unlucky there. That lobby glitch. Piero saying, how are we supposed to prepare for tomorrow? Yeah, I honestly have no idea. Zexify saying, what's the race? Definitely agree. 14th to 5th, pretty decent. Yeah, Bon Evil, great race from her as well. Cashtag was saying, let's go. Very well done from Cashtag as well. 20th to 3rd. Brilliant race. From him. What's the result for Alpha and Mayo saying Cryptech? Yep, definitely a very good result for them in the constructors. But from me and Natty, great race. Hopefully we can repeat it next week. Oh, well, actually not next week. Next week's a break week, sorry, for the Premier Series, as only the Super League will be racing next week in Baku. But in 2 weeks' time, we'll be joining you from the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.